Today in our 2016 Ram 2500, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the BAKFlip MX4 hard tonneau cover, part number BAK48203. The BAKFlip is a hard shell tonneau cover that protects the inside of your truck bed and any contents you might have inside from the elements. The 1/2-inch thick aluminum panels are going to be very hard and durable, and they're going to stand up to the elements. The cover only sits about a 1/2 inch off your truck bed, so it's going to give your truck a nice low profile look while also cutting down on wind noise and drag. When used in conjunction with the locking tailgate, you're going to have full bed security. To open the tonneau cover, all you have to do is open up your tailgate, and then you come to this latch right here. You have one on each side. You can pull down on one of them and then flip it up. Once you have it unlatched, you can unfold it. The folding design of this cover gives you partial or full bed access in seconds without having to remove your cover. The prop rods keep your cover secure against the cab of your truck so that you can drive with full bed access. The foam bumpers right here are going to make sure that no damage occurs to your rear window while it's folded up towards your cab. If you want to travel with your cover open, but you want to have visibility out of your rear window, you can do that as well. When it is folded up like this, just take your buckle, loosen it up, and then buckle it right there, and then tighten it down so that it stays put while you're traveling. The matte black finish is going to be resistant to scratches, scuffs, and UV rays. The matte black rubber seal, along with the drain tubes on the inside of the truck bed, are going to help keep water out of your truck bed and keeping your contents dry. It's an easy no-drill installation. You have 6 of these clamps right here that hold up the side rails, which provide a base for the cover. When closing your tonneau cover, you have the option to close it with the tailgate up or down. Now that we've gone over some of those features, let's show you guys how this installs. The first thing you want to do is install your bulkhead seal. Now you want to make sure you clean the surface first and maybe wipe it down with some isopropyl alcohol. Once you've done all that and it's dry, then you're ready to start. We'll go ahead and start to peel a little bit of the backing off. And then we're going to come right in here, press it against the bed rail cap on the edge of the bulkhead. Once you apply a little bit of pressure, we're going to peel a little bit more back and continue to go down until we get to the other side of the bulkhead. You want to make sure that you get it as straight as possible all the way down. Now when you get to the other side, if you have any excess, you can go ahead and trim that off. If not, then you're good to go. You just want to go back down, making sure to apply pressure, making sure that sealant really kicks in. Now we can get our side rails in place. We'll start over here on the passenger side. Now how we know where it goes is this silver bracket right here needs to be at the front, and it's also labeled. If I turn this around, we're going to see a label right here that says right. You also want to make sure that you have the tailgate up. Now we'll go ahead and get it in place. When setting your rail down, you want to make sure that this little seal right here isn't folded in at all and it sits right on top of the bed rail cap. We have this little pad on the end of our side rail. We want to make sure we push that up against the bulkhead and compress it a bit. Once you have everything in place, we'll go ahead and put some temporary clamps on. Now we'll go ahead and install our permanent clamps. You want to make sure that the head of the bolt is facing outside towards you and that the nut is facing on the inside. This integrated slot right here is made so that the nut will stay in place as you tighten your bolt. We'll go ahead and put the first one towards the front of our truck bed. You want to make sure you have it as vertical as possible and as straight as possible so that those teeth can clamp on to the slots on the underside of the rail. We're just going to hand tighten it for now. Once you have it tight enough to where it can hold itself up there, we'll move on to the next clamp. Our second clamp is going to go in the middle, right above the wheel well, roughly. Again, just hand tighten it first. Our last clamp will go towards the back of our truck bed. Now we're going to start by tightening down the middle clamp first. We have a 9/16 socket wrench. Before you tighten down, you want to make sure you're applying pressure to the top of it, kind of forcing it down. Not too much though. Just give it slight pressure and then go ahead and tighten. Now we'll move on to the front clamp. Again, making sure you apply pressure on the top. And lastly, the back. Go ahead and remove your temporary clamps, and then repeat this process for the other side. Now with an extra set of hands, go ahead and just take your cover and set it inside the rails towards the front, but not completely at the front. I'm going to go ahead and pull up on this panel so we can pull this little flap out. Now I'm going to go ahead and scoot it towards the front. Bring that flap down and just scoot it up until it's all the way covering the truck bed. Before you put it down, you want to make sure you peel off these little tabs to uncover this hole. This hole right here needs to line up with your silver bracket. Before we go any further, we're going to go ahead and install these buckles. Now they sit right here where these two little holes are, like so. We have 2 screws right here, then we have 2 of these little rods that come up through and are threaded on the inside for the screws. So we're going to lift up on this little flap and bring those little rods up and through. Once you get both of those up, you can go ahead and set it down. Now we'll set our buckle into place, and then we'll take our 2 screws and set them in there. You can try to thread them if you can. Could be pretty difficult because it's a tight space. Once you have it in there, you move the other one and do the same thing. Now I want to stress that you only are supposed to use a screwdriver to get these tightened. You don't want to use a power drill. That could cause damage to the buckle or to your cover. Now to make it easier on myself, I'm going to go ahead and keep my hand under this flap with my fingers pushing up against those rods. Go ahead and take a screwdriver and begin tightening it down. You don't want to over tighten it, and then just repeat this process for the other side. Now we're going to install our foam bumpers right here. These are made so that when you fold up your cover towards your cab, it's going to prevent any damage from occurring on the frame of your truck or on your rear window. Go ahead and just peel this backing off. We'll set that aside. Now we're going to start on this edge right here. You want to make sure you get it on the edge of the cover right here, and then apply pressure to make sure that adhesive really sticks. The second one is going to go in the center. A good rule of thumb is to line it up with this light up here. Again, apply pressure, make sure that adhesive really catches. Then the third one goes on the other side. Now we're going to install our plugs right here in this hole. Go ahead and take a rubber washer that comes in your kit, feed it all the way to the top like that, and feed it through like so. And then we'll attach the hardware from the other side. To make this part a little easier, we're going to go ahead and fold up the cover against our cab. You can see this bolt that has come through from the top. The remaining hardware in this order is going to be a rubber washer, followed by a steel washer, and then a lock washer. We'll feed all those on it. I'm going to hold that there, and then we're going to grab this black hand knob and begin to tighten it down. Once you have it threaded, just tighten it all the way up, just snug at first until you get the other one on. Now we're going to install our drain tubes. There's a little valve stem right here in the corner. We're going to feed one end on that valve. And then the other end, you have a couple of different options. You can use any type of plug that you might have here. If you don't want to pull this plug all the way out, you can drill a 7/8 inch hole right there so that this valve can fit in there. However, there's a little plug on the side, we're just going to use that. You just push the plug out, and now we'll feed the drain tube all the way in there. Now we're going to make sure our prop rods are working as they should. This little track right here, we're going to pull that up and bring our rod down. I'm going to push down on that track, apply a little bit of pressure, and then we're going to tighten down this little hand knob. Once you do that, it's going to allow you to drive down the road with the tonneau cover flipped up against your truck. Once you've got everything installed, go ahead and fold it down and make sure everything is working properly. Everything seems to be working properly, so we're good to go. And there you have it for the Backflip MX4 hard tonneau cover on our 2016 Ram 2500.